a chair. It's time for jokes and questionable flair. Some are gold, some not so sunny. But hey, well, I thought it was funny. We're back again, a little late. Blame the coffee, twist of fate. Laughs are brewing, fresh and runny. Well, I thought it was funny. So sip, smile, cringe if you must. This podcast runs on beans and trust. It's late.
Good morning, folks. The time is 10:32 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 17th of October 2025. Now, of course, that is the 18th for my friends on the other side of the planet there. My friends in Australia. All over Australia. But let's say a special hello to those folks in Melbourne. Why Melbourne? Hey, that's the city that has the most members of any city worldwide. That's right, there are more members of the group, well, I thought it was funny, in Melbourne, Australia, than any other city worldwide. That's pretty freaking cool, isn't it? And you know what number 2 is? Sydney, Australia. But folks, I actually want to say hello to everybody, not just the folks in Australia, not just the folks in Melbourne. Every single one of you out there, I want to say hello to you. I hope you're all doing fantastic today. It is Friday for us, Saturday for those folks in Melbourne. And folks, by the way, who am I, right? My name's Lee. I'm the guy who started the group, or groups really, because we've got 2 of them. The groups called Well, I Thought It Was Funny, and you folks are you. And you're amazing. And how would I know that? Number 1, who the heck else are you going to be, right? And number 2, we were not amazing until you got here. That's pretty simple math. You brought the amazing, therefore you are amazing. So cheers, folks. Cheers to every single one of you. And thanks for making us what we are. The funniest city on the internet. And why do I call us that? We've got 875,000. Actually, more than 875,000 members in our community here. That is more people than many of the cities on the planet, right? So once again, funniest city on the internet, population, us. Funny people in a funny place, and we make people laugh. We are so funny, and we're funny because of you. So thank you, folks, for making us absolutely freaking rock. You make me happy. So as I mentioned, it is a Friday here today. I don't have any really big plans. I'm going to do some laundry, exciting stuff like that. Of course, work on this video. I got to go shop and I got to grab some stuff. Aside from some groceries, I got to work on kind of a costume thing. Because remember, if you watched the last video, I was talking about possibly streaming some public domain horror movies over the spooky season. I'll be doing that probably on YouTube and on Twitch. Well, no, probably. If I do it, it will be on YouTube and Twitch. And these are movies that are in the public domain. The copyright has lapsed. So they're just out there for the taking. So that's what I'm going to do. But what I would like to do with that is also introduce the movies like those classic horror hosts. And I asked you folks if you had any memories of those horror hosts and that. And, and I was talking to... And I asked you folks what you thought of that idea, with the classic horror host kind of intros to these movies and that. Lizzy Grin mentioned this. She remembers Bob Williams. Bob Williams was a horror host, classic horror and campy horror and stuff like that from the 60s and the 70s, so big Gen X influence. I didn't see his stuff when I growing up because he just wasn't on any of the channels that we had. I grew up in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, so we didn't have him, but I did see a couple of other ones. I saw one out of Rochester, or at least I think he was out of Rochester. I can't remember his name. That's New York. And if he wasn't out of Rochester, it was broadcast by one of the Rochester channels, which we picked up in Ottawa. And I also, of course, remember Svengoolie. But a lot of this stuff I remember just from watching documentaries on these guys. And there was one on TV Ontario. Now, TV Ontario was was a public broadcast station throughout the entire province of Ontario. Still is, actually. And they used to have a guy that would do movie hosts. And it wasn't always horror and that, but he would do horror movies. And I remember him growing up, too. I can't remember his name, though. So I do remember these guys. And, of course, I do definitely... Bob Wilkins, I definitely remember hearing about him in that. And I have seen him in videos. So that is awesome. That's really cool. You know, and I also asked you folks about stuff that scared you from regular TV shows, what you saw on TV. Now, Lizzy Grin said she didn't remember any specific episodes of regular TV shows that scared her, but she did remember getting scared by a movie called Burnt Offerings, which is a '70s movie. And I do remember that. In fact, I believe I may have reviewed Burnt Offerings because I used to do movie reviews. It was called ilikebadmovies.com. It's no longer available. That's some kind of garbage site there now. But some of those posts are still up on YouTube, and maybe I'll share a couple of them. But anyways, I believe I reviewed Burnt Offerings, so it's a movie I remember very well. So that's a good one there. So, you know, and so anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Got off on a tangent there. I'm going to be getting some stuff for the costumes, I guess. I ordered a cape online, like a vampire style cape. I got two of them actually, which was kind of cool. Not really super high quality, but hey, it's the best quality vampire cape that I have. So I'll be using that too. Got to work some way, maybe some kind of vampire wig, because I got no hair and I just have that vampire peak, right? So, so I'll be doing some shopping today. In other words, aside from working on laundry and working on this video, that's what I'm doing today. You know, the other day, actually, I don't know if you can see this pumpkin right here. You see that pumpkin right there? That pumpkin, well, just a little story about that pumpkin, why it's there. A few years ago, actually, no, not a few years ago. Last year, I was doing some thrifting around this time, around Halloween, and I saw some decorations out of Value Village. And there was a pumpkin there. It was like a tea light pumpkin, but it was small. Like, it was smaller than this coffee cup, right? Well, this is a pretty big coffee cup, but it was smaller than this coffee cup. And I really liked it, so I got it, and I made a little video that I used last year. I'd streamed some horror movies on Twitch and YouTube, like I want to do this year. I just didn't do those cool intros. But anyways, last year but I had in between, between the movies and that, I showed just a little 8-second video of a pumpkin like that, a pumpkin like that, just, you know, with a candle in it, just some filler, right? Well, we broke that when we were putting away our Halloween stuff last year. We managed to break that pumpkin. I really like the design of it. A little sad. So this year I decided to try and find one. And I looked around. I couldn't find it. I went to Lowe's Value Village. I didn't find any in Value Village. I looked online. Couldn't find any. And then just one just popped up on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. This popped up in there when I wasn't actually searching for anything jack-o'-lantern. I was looking for, I think, guitars and a PlayStation 4. And this one popped up. Go, it's the exact same design. And the picture looked identical. No difference, right? So I talked to the lady, and she said, she's selling for $20. I paid $250 for mine last time, right? Like I said, it was about this big. But anyways, I was excited to get another one, so I said, okay, you know, I gave her the money. I e-transferred the money so she could hold it because I couldn't get there for a couple of days. And when I picked it up on Wednesday, actually, Wednesday evening, and I expected it to be, you know, about this big, the size of the other one. And I thought, well, I'm spending a lot of money on it. Nope, it's big. I'll show you how big it is, folks. Hold on. Now, okay, it's not huge for a jack-o'-lantern, right? But it is significantly larger than the original one. So, okay, I don't feel too bad about spending the $20 now. And I said I was a little miffed about spending $20 for something I spent $250 on. Well, it's worth it. It's scaled up, but it's kind of weird. It's the exact same design, though, right? Apparently, they came out in 1989, and that's why they're kind of hard to find or something like that. So, a little story about my finding that. I had to drive to. Oh my gosh, it was like a 40-minute drive. It's still in town. 40 minutes each way, and yeah, but I think it's worth it. I kind of like the design, and I wanted to get another one. Like I said, I expected a little tiny one closer to the one next to it there, but no, it's significantly larger. So cool. I'll show you the video, the 8-second video there. And if I haven't already showed it, I'll put it up right now of what I used last year as filler. That thing was just tiny compared to that. so that's what I did on Wednesday, and like I said, tonight, tonight I have no real plans. I might go see a movie, and I don't think I will, but there's a chance I might go see a movie tonight. I want to see Tron Ares in the theater before it's out of the theater. It's bombing, and people are saying it's not a great movie. But, you know, I saw the original Tron when I was a kid with my buddy Kelsey Lease in Edmonton. I think we were like 10, we were 11. And then I saw... I can't even remember the name of it, the last Tron movie. And then this in the theater, Wendy and I saw it, and I think I should see this one in the theater, right? This may be the last Tron movie. I might as well see all three in the theater, you know, just ride it through. I hope it's better than people are saying. And if it's not, I understand. But whatever, I got to see it. I'm a kid at heart, folks. And I like to hold on to some of those childhood memories. Not childish memories, but childhood memories. And Tron was a big part of my childhood. I found a really formative movie for me. I got right into science fiction at that time, too. You know, Star Wars had come out in 77, and then we had Empire Strikes Back. And that whole... I was a space cadet. But not spaced out space cadet. I was just so into space and science fiction and that. And just... and I know... Tron is more of an inner space thing, but not human inner space. Inside a computer, it's still science fiction, right? So it was futuristic and cool, and it just really blew me away. You know, I think I gotta see it in the theater, so I might do that tonight. There's only one person right now in there. You know, there's only one person who's got a seat right now for the 7 o'clock show, so it wouldn't be too packed. So maybe I'll do that, but no other plans. Now tomorrow, I am working the Sarah McLachlan concert. That's right. She's got a voice of an angel, that lady. And she's going to be at the Calgary Scotiabank Saddle Dome, where I work. Hopefully I get to see the show. There's never a guarantee because there's so many different positions that you have to work that you may not have a section. But if I don't have a section, I hope I can get away for a minute or two to catch a little bit of her song. If I do have a section, fantastic. Now, I don't know who the opening act is yet, or acts. I should have looked that up, but I haven't. But I am excited to be working the Sarah McLachlan show. She is a Canadian and an amazing artist, and she's internationally known, of course. So, folks, that's what I am doing, and I want to know what you folks are doing and what's going on in your lives. You know, and I ask what's happening in your lives, and I hear from some of you folks. I heard from Rose Glad. Rose Glad lets us know what's happening quite often. I love the fact that she replies and responds to these videos, and I love the fact that she watches these videos. Well, that reminds me, folks, if you're watching this video, quickly click the like button on it, please, if you like it. If not, do that sad face or something like that. But like or the happy face or the laughing person, I would love you to click that just so I know you're out there. But anyways, I ask what you folks are up to, and I ask you folks to share your hobbies, your arts, your crafts, and stuff like that. Rose Glad shares with us. She shared a photo of the most recent hat that she's finished knitting, and she's an amazing knitter. Gonna bring that up right now. Look at that fantastic bird motif. I think that looks awesome. And Rose says she is working on another one, which is, I guess, another bird motif. It's a chicken hat. I hope we get to see that too. So Rose, please share that with us. We'd love to see that. Love this one. It looks fantastic. Rose, you're just a fantastic artist. And oh, Rose, did you paint last night? Just thought I would ask, because Thursday is quite often paint night. And of course, my mom also responded too. She sent in a picture of her dog Rufus, who I call my fur brother. He's such a great dog. What a cutie and everything. He just got groomed. He is a golden doodle. And take a look at him. He's such a handsome boy. This dog doesn't even bark. You know, he just sort of whines a little bit when he wants something, but he's not a barker. He's such a sweetheart. He's just an amazing dog. All dogs are great though. Mom, thanks for sharing that. Thank you, Rose, for sharing that amazing hat of yours. Folks, we want to hear about you. I really do want to hear about you. Why don't you take a moment and leave a little blurb. Just comment on this video a little bit about yourself, what you're doing today, or maybe what you did, what you're doing this weekend coming up. Maybe something about your hobbies, your crafts, you have a collection or something. Share a little bit about yourself so we can share it with the world, so we can make the funniest city on the internet the friendliest city on the internet. And we've got a couple of featured posts I'd like to share with you today. These are posts that made me laugh. Now, one of them is from Michelle Finnerty, a name you should recognize. She's not only one of our mods, she's one of our most prolific posters, one of the funniest folks out there. And she shares with us a lot, which is awesome when we ask, about your day, what you've been up to. She shares a lot of great photos, a lot of great stories. And today I'm sharing one of her posts that made me laugh a lot. Now, it is one that I've seen, but not recently. And so I don't mind bringing it up again. It's just funny. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to bring it up for a second. Yeah, I'm done shutting up. Like I said, I've seen this before. It made me laugh then. It made me laugh today. And, I thought it was funny, right? And apparently a lot of you thought it was funny too. Now, the next one is from some jerk named Lee. Wait a minute, that's me. Sorry. This is one that I saw the other day, and I shared it with a group. And apparently I wasn't the only one that found it funny, because it's been pretty popular, unlike me. The post is getting a lot of traction, and it made me laugh so hard. I really like this comic, Safely Endangered, and I think they're really smartly written, and they're consistently funny, and I like the art style too. So to the artist, fantastic. Good job. And sorry, folks, for blowing my own horn, but hey, if you could blow in your own horn, you'd probably never leave the house, right? Folks, I hope those made you laugh. I know they made me laugh, and I just want to thank all of you for everything you post. I mean, I wish I could feature every one of them, but it's just impossible. There's just so much out there. But I want you to know you're all incredibly funny, and it's why this group is incredibly funny, and why the group is incredibly successful, because of your funny posts. You rock. All right, and now we get to here, and the only logical place we can go, and you can't deny it. It's got to be right to the bad jokes. What happens when a microscope runs into a telescope? They kaleidoscope. My wife was telling me that I'm of average intelligence. Now that's just mean. Math jokes. I started a company that sells see-through glass coffins. Will it be a success? I guess it remains to be seen. I just got a job at a paperless office. I thought everything was great until the first time I had to use the bathroom. The other day I asked my boss if I could leave early. He said, sure, if I made up the time. I said, no problem. It's 87 past 63. I hope those jokes made you laugh, but hey, I hope they always make you laugh. I hope all of them made you laugh, but hey, nobody bats 100, right? If a one or two makes you snicker a little bit, then I call that a win. It's tough to find these jokes for every video, and what really does help is when you folks send me jokes. In fact, I got 2 jokes sent in today. One of them is from a post from my friend Dave Knapp, who does send me in jokes quite often, but one of his posts actually made me laugh, and it was the one about the glass coffin. I reworded it a little bit, not necessarily better, but I did reword it a little bit, but that's from one of Dave Knapp's posts. And then the other one that I got from one of you folks is from my buddy Manfred Kintop, and that was the one about my wife saying that I have an average intelligence, the math joke. That's for him too. And the other ones, I don't know where I got them. They just ones that I kind of found in life. If you know where any of those jokes come from, feel free to let me know. Comment in the video, and I will definitely make sure to update the notes, letting people know where those jokes came from. And folks, I want to tell your jokes too. I really do want to tell your jokes. Why don't you send me some jokes to jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com, or leave them as a comment on this video, and if I use your jokes, I'm definitely going to give you credit, I promise. And another cool thing that you could do if you really want to do it would be record yourself telling a joke, audio or video on your webcam, on your phone. You could even send me an audio cassette or video cassette. I would make that work, I promise. I would love it if you told a joke or two. Send those jokes to jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com also. Unless it's an audio or video cassette, then you comment or DM me, and I'll send you an address to send that stuff to. I don't expect anyone will do that, but I would love it if you prove me wrong. Send your jokes to jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com. Hey, gonna run a quick commercial. We're gonna come right back and talk about how awesome you are.
I've seen the style before. Terminal psychotic.
Get your shirts, coffee cups, hoodies, and more at store.wellithoughitwasfunny.com. Time to talk about how awesome you are. I told you I'd be back. Folks, the success of this group has just blown me away. And as I said, the only reason this group is successful is because you share your funny stuff here. I mean, when it was just me and a few of my friends, we were mildly amusing. Now I think we are the funniest group on the interwebs, my friends. We're the funniest group on Facebook. I think we're the best curated group on Facebook. And we're only good, as I said, because of all the amazing stuff that you share. I've got some amazing admins and moderators that I work with, and let me go through their names there, and I really hope I don't miss anyone. I've got, of course, there's myself. I founded the group. We've got Gail. That's Gail Cantaway. She was my first admin or mod that I added. And then I've got John Kyle, a guy that I've known since high school, man. Holy smokes, I've known that guy for a long time. He was my next that I added. And then I got my buddy Dan Peterson, the unstoppable Dan Peterson. Great singer, by the way. He came on, he helped too. Big help. Then we added my buddy Mitch Laird. That's right, my buddy Mitch Laird joined up with us. And then recently we added Michelle Finnerty to our group of admins and mods, and I want to let you folks know that they are all amazing. They all do an amazing job, and they're one of the reasons why the group is as well curated as it is, my friends. And that's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. That's why I run those dumb commercials, because I'm hoping, well, number one, I'm hoping to see you folks wearing this stuff, and I love to see photos of you and that stuff. But also, I'd like to make this make a little sense, because boy, do we ever spend a lot of time in this group. But folks, you know, that enough about me. Like I said, it's all about you. Thank you for making us awesome. None of this would be possible without you and without your funny stuff. I'm going to be here again in video form on Sunday, but I'm here all the time, really. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, just DM me on the group, my friends. You know, I'm here. Now, don't go overboard with that, but you can get in touch with me if you need to. I'm here to make things work, here to fix things and make sure things stay funny. Folks, I'm going to see you again on Sunday. You have an amazing couple of days. Stay spooky, because it's the spooky season. But keep laughing, my friends. All the best.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I think it was funny.
Well, I thought 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 it was funny. Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I thought it was funny.